Derek, who you guys know, has been here this morning. We've been recording interviews to create into videos for our websites. So I wanted to spend some time, talk to him about what he's doing and how he's making it work. The thing is, it's not just he's got 20-something people coming this week, but he's only 17 weeks into business, which is a little over 4 months.
Yep.
Yeah, a little over 4 months. Yeah. This is his 5th month of business. He's putting in the hard work. Derek's obviously not allergic to hard work. So I just, so Derek, tell us a little bit about what are you doing that's working really well?
First, honestly, I think I want to say what I'm not doing, because everybody's trying to do the Facebook, the Google ads, get on social media, Instagram. I'm not doing any of it. Like I've tried that, but nothing has worked. So I was like, the hell with it. I'm done with Facebook ads. I just started some Google ads, but I haven't really been posting on Facebook at all, or Instagram or anything like that. I've kind of gone out in the community and gone and met up with people. My number one thing has been workshops. It's going into gyms, reaching out to them and saying, hey, I want to do a workshop for your people. What do you think they would benefit from? Here are some ideas that I have done in the past. Which one works for you? Mm-hmm. And the majority of them, heck yeah, they're all about it. You go in there and then, the thing that's worked best for me in the workshop, because I have done like a back pain workshop. I did a self-myofascial release workshop. But more than anything, the thing that people have enjoyed the most and has got me the most bang for my buck is doing a full body movement screen workshop for everybody individually, and then giving them 1 or 2 things that they can work on right now, and then say, hey, if you want help, I can help you right now. Mm-hmm. And some people sign up directly to that, or I'll try and get them in for, hey, I don't have the time right now, but I would like to do a little bit of treatment on you, see if we can make a quick change and I can help you. Do you want to come into the clinic for that? And so, undoubtedly, everybody that has pain, they're like, yeah, come in for that. And that's where the majority of my patients have come from.
Wow.
I also got on somebody's email list. So I'm out of a spot which has massage, acupuncture, they do some yoga. But there's a lot of different people coming in there, and the owner sent out an email for me telling everybody on her email list that I was giving out free visits. So I got 7 total body diagnostics visits from that, which 5 of them became patients. And so those are the 2 things really, is getting out in the community, and then I was fortunate enough to get on an email list. I got on an email list of another gym as well, and I got 1 patient from that.
Wow, that's awesome. How'd you get on someone else's email list? What did you offer them in exchange, or how did you make that work?
It was just talking with them. Like, I built a really good relationship with a gym. Mm-hmm. The owner of a gym, it's a small kettlebell type gym. I built a really good relationship with her, and I just asked her, I said, hey, would you be willing to send out an email to your list saying, I'm willing to give out free visits to anybody that wants it. And immediately got 1 turned into a patient.
Nice. How'd you build that relationship? How'd you contact her first?
How'd I contact her first? I think I contacted email. I just went to her website, emailed her. We went and met up for lunch. I paid for her lunch. Mm-hmm. And then just kept building from there. I think I've done like 3 workshops for them. Nice. And then this last one, I was like, hey, can you send out an email for me? And
yeah, cool. And so the workshops you've done for her, you've also got patients.
Also got patients, yep. So that one gym, I think I probably got like 5 or 6 patients from them.
Nice. And this is like a small kind of private training gym type of thing.
Very small. Yeah, very small, but she's really easy to work with. I really think the small gyms are better, mm-hmm. because they're in the community. They live in the community. They're not just going to work. Mm-hmm. It's something they're invested in.
Right. Kind of like where I work with Joey here. He's got a small private gym, and he's sent me probably 30, 40 people over the years. And it's a lot of people that have come through there. That's great, man. So tell us about so you did a workshop that's just a total body movement screen or total body diagnostic workshop. What's it called? What do you do during that? What are you looking at?
what do I call it? I think I just call it like a full body movement screen. I'll look at how you're moving head to toe. It's really just the SFMA. I take the SFMA movements, and then if I have time, I'll break them out a little bit to see exactly where the dysfunction is, and give them 1 to 2 things to work on right there.
That's great.
That honestly, that has been the best thing.
And you just stand everyone up and say, okay, everyone do this, and you kind of are looking
individually.
You do an individual top tier.
Yep, I do everything individually. Like if they want to wait for their movement screen, they have to wait. But then this last one, I also handed out a newsletter with a little card on the top of it that said, "Give this to somebody that needs a free visit." And the newsletter was education. I just handed that out, so we'll see if I can get anybody back from that.
Right. Wow, that's awesome. What else, Derek? So it's the workshops, making personal connections. Is there anything else that's working, or those are the things that are giving you the big return on your investment?
It's learning how to sell a discovery visit to a plan of care. Because everybody wants to obsess over getting leads, but if you don't know how to convert a lead, I'll put it this way, it's so much harder to find a new lead than it is to convert an existing lead. So learning how and what to say during a discovery visit to get somebody to a plan of care is what you really should be practicing on, as opposed to how do I run this Facebook ad, how do I run this Google, let me get on social media. Like if you could really learn how to sell somebody that's sitting in front of you, that's going to pay time and time again.
That's awesome. What are you doing during the free total body diagnostic, and what are you saying to people to get them to convert?
So I think I said this to you when I worked for you, is when I started doing them, is if I want somebody to be my patient, I'm going to treat them like they're my patient. So I don't do anything different. I treat them exactly like they're my patient, take them through the movement screen, listen to their story. Usually I try and say that the total body diagnostic is 20 to 30 minutes, but it really usually goes about 40. I give them a little bit of taster treatment at the end to see if I can make a quick change, which usually always works out. And then at the end we sit down and talk about what I'm seeing. I will give them 1 or 2 things to work on regardless, and then say, hey, if you want to move on from here, this is what it looks like.
And then when you, if someone says yes, are you charging them for that time, or are you just charging them for the next series of visits?
That's a good question. I have got a couple that I rolled in directly into an eval, but that was because I had extra time on the back end. If I have another patient coming in after, I just got to reschedule them.
Yeah, and you'll say, okay, we'll do your evaluation in 2 days or next week or whatever. Yeah. And then how are you selling them into your plan of cares? And you just recently raised your rates. So what did you change anything when you raised your rates other than the price? Are you selling them into a program or a certain plan of care, or what are you doing there?
So I didn't change anything other than like on the front end, or I didn't change the way I talk to them, nothing like that. What I did change is I'm giving a welcome gift to everybody. It's got a couple different things in there. It cost me about $40. So that, with raising my rates, the extra money I made with raising my rates on that first visit pays for that welcome package. But it's just got some educational material in it, and it's got another card in there to try and get them to give to somebody they know that's in pain that needs us, to reach out for a discovery visit. So I was reading a book from Dan Kennedy a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about referrals. And he was saying, you need to be spending at least as much money on getting referrals as you are on getting a new lead. Yeah. Because referrals are our best patients. Like everybody knows that the referrals are our best patients. So why aren't we spending more money and more time into getting more referrals when they're way better than a lead off of a Facebook ad? Right. So that's why I took that box, and I'm trying to get referrals through patients.
What is in your new patient welcome box?
I have a band, a Grey Cook band, because I think everybody's going to need it at some point. I know everybody's going to need it at some point. I have an educational newsletter that I hand out. It's got 2 of them in there, one for the patient, and then another one, which is the same newsletter, but I've got that little slip on top that I stapled that's for a free total body diagnostic, hoping they're going to give it to somebody in need. And then I've got a why do I hurt workbook in there to educate them about pain. their self-myofascial release ball. And then I reached back out to that gym, that very gym that I've been talking with a lot. And I'm going to get a card from her that she's going to put in my welcome box for her gym. So everybody gets kind of indoctrinated. Okay, this is what the next step looks like after you're done working with me.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. One of the biggest things people are struggling with right now is, oh, there's all the technology. I don't know how to deal with technology. I can't get this thing set up, etc. You know, if someone's struggling with that, what would you say to them? What have you done? You know, I know you've set a lot of stuff up, but what's working for you? What should someone be spending their time on right now?
Yeah, honestly, I checked last night. I've got 50 email leads in my, or contacts, 50 in my Infusionsoft. So I don't really have that big of a network at all. I would say learning how to sell, because the latter is finding that lead, getting them to a discovery visit, converting them into a plan of care, and then eventually I'll implement some sort of wellness program. Mm-hmm. But if I can get somebody into that discovery visit, I need to learn how to sell that. So I think everybody needs to focus on how are you going to take somebody from a discovery visit to a paid plan of care, as opposed to focusing so much on how am I going to get a new lead.
Right. Yeah, we can totally get tons of new leads in, but if you're only converting 10%, you know, where we should be really converting over 50, 60, 70% of our, total body diagnostics are new leads. I mean, I think, and just for context, my email list for the clinic's only about 1,000 people, and that's over 10 years, probably even a little bit more, because I was collecting some as a massage therapist. I've got there's about 500 or 600 who've been patients, and that's, probably 12 years, and then another 500 or so that are, haven't been patients and are on my prospective list. So you don't need a lot of leads, but I think that you do need to learn how to convert on the phone to a free visit or a paid eval, and convert them from there into like a plan of care. Like, people have to buy into your whole, I want you here for 6 visits or 8 visits. You got to be able to sell that to people. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, in order to sell somebody, you've got to set the expectation. Like, how many visits does this typically take? What does the treatment look like? Mm-hmm. And then I tell them exactly what I'm seeing, what is the problem, and what steps 1, 2, and 3 look like in order to get them out of pain. The other thing I would say is, don't be afraid to reach out to like chiropractors, massage therapists. I've got a physician assistant that's referred a couple people to me. Us as PTs, we think like chiros are, they're the other side. But I've gone and met with chiropractors. I even did a joint workshop with a chiropractor. Mm-hmm. It didn't get me anything, but I don't be afraid to reach out to whoever the hell, anybody. Yeah. Just reach out to them, go and have coffee with them, go and have lunch with them. See, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
And you said something like you have to pre-frame people. So you are sending people emails when you schedule them or book them, and those are automated through your system, right?
Yeah. So the goal, again, is to get somebody to a discovery visit. But then on top of that, you have to, again, manage expectations. And in order to manage expectations, you don't necessarily have to do that all in person. You can manage that through email. Mm-hmm. So as you set up that discovery visit, I try and not get them into the clinic for about 5 days if I can, because that way they can get all my email sequence and educate them more about who I am, how I help. And then when they finally come into the clinic, they're like, okay, what's the next step? I totally embody and I understand who you are. And everything you've said resonates with me. Mm-hmm. So that way the selling process is a whole lot easier.
If someone contacts you and says, I need to get in and see you right away, are you getting them in for a free visit, or you say, well, we can get you in for an eval today, or how are you managing that?
I tell them we've got 2. I had that happen yesterday. I tell them we've got 2 options, and either one that you want to do is fine with me. And I tell them we could do the total body diagnostic, where I just take you through the screen and I'll tell you exactly what I'm seeing, or we could jump right into treatment and I can start helping you right away. Which one would you like? Mm-hmm.
And what do most people choose?
That one went right to an eval.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was because it was a referral.
Mm-hmm. From another patient.
From another patient. And so if it wasn't a referral right now, I would just get them into a total body diagnostic. Yeah. But as a referral, I know they're a hot lead and they're ready. Mm-hmm. They're ready to book.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. What about when you first started those first few weeks? Where were you getting patients, and how did you get the ball rolling?
The first 2 weeks, I had one patient each week, and it was only because she followed me from you to Durham. And then after that, let's see. Well, I got lucky with a patient that when I worked with Erin, she sent me 5 or 6 people. But then it's been the workshops. The workshops has been the number one thing. And I've done an in-house workshop where I sent out quite a few people. I sent out my PowerPoint slides or a YouTube video of me going through that. I think I'm like 13 for 17 on. All of them have come in for a total body diagnostic, but I think I'm like 13 for 17 on them becoming or buying a plan of care.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
So those have been good, but getting in front of people. More than anything, I think that we want to get caught up on what's going to get us the leads. Is it going to be Google, or is it going to be Facebook, or is it going to be Instagram? But really, those should come after. Those really need to come after. You need to get out and get in the community, and don't be afraid to talk to even chiropractors.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the number one thing I think people want is they feel like it's easy to get them on Facebook, but really it's expensive and it takes a long time, and it's not that easy. It just seems easy because people are talking about it, and I think people are afraid to. It's like if you're an introvert, it's like, oh, I don't have to go talk to someone. But the easiest, best way is to make personal connections, and that's how I built my business too. I think it's powerful for you to be able to share that today.
The other thing I would recommend is if you go and meet with somebody and you sit down and talk with them, get them in for a free treatment. Like the chiropractor, or I treated the physician assistant. She came in, I gave her a free treatment so that they can kind of get a feel of what you do.
Right. And
then you start building that trust, and then it's Facebook ads later down the line.
Right. That's a big deal. That's a great point. All right, we're gonna roll. We've got a little bit more work to do this morning, and we'll talk to you guys soon. If you have questions, just post them below the video. And thanks for watching.